Hello? Okay, so naririnig na. So I am going to have this video as a supplementary about module number 1 and 2 because I understand that not everyone was able to learn the lesson kanina, especially for section Jesus. So I'm doing this video. I'm going also to share this, not only to section Jesus, but also to other sections. Tapos, I am going to start with the very start of the topic. So, I am going to advise section Jesus to move to a certain number ng video na to, time ng video na to, kung saan sila pwede mag-start, kung naintindihan na nila yung leading coefficient test. Kasi we are done with the lesson and we are done with leading coefficient test. And everything on that part, I think, was understood very well by that section. So, dun sa part na yon, maayos kami. Dun sa mga susunod na part, it's because of the internet connection, maybe, or it is because of my laptop na naglag. So, after nung naglag yung laptop, nawalan na ako ng nawalan na yung direction ng lesson. So nagkalabo-labo na. So I am sure that they understand why kasi nga nagkalabo-labo na rin because of the laptop no, na naglag siya bigla. So let me start it by showing you the code. So if you are in section De Jesus, you have this code and you will copy this and join our Google Classroom. So, kabisado ko naman na yung mga pangalan, halos. So, kung section de Jesus ka, ito yung code mo. If you are from section Ricarte, you have this code and you have to join the Google Classroom. For section Aquino, this is your code. And for section Palma, your code is this. Okay? So, I asked earlier kung ano yung mga words na natandaan nila from modules 1 and 2 and they were not able to answer, maybe because they are not yet done reading these two modules because these two modules, though it is just a review of what we had last quarter, medyo mahaba talaga siya if you are going to read it. Okay? So, let me start. So, if you are asked for the word or words that you may encounter or you have encountered in reading module 1 and 2. These are some of them. So maybe you have read there yun nga, yung nabanggit ko kanina, yung leading coefficient test, coefficient test. Maybe you also um, encounter the word graph. You also have the polynomial, function, ano pa yung mga word. Syempre may leading coefficient test. So may leading coefficient, may degree, ano pa yung mga words na nakita doon. We have problem kasi we are going to solve problems in module number 2 involving polynomial functions and so on. So these are maybe the words. And also siguro yung mga word na falls or rises, no, to the left, to the right. So those are the words that you might encounter or you will encounter in module number 1 and 2. So for module number 1, quarter number 2, we have graphs of polynomial function. So in graphs of polynomial functions, syempre you have to first understand what polynomial function is. So para maintindihan ninyo yung polynomial function, let us now proceed first. Okay, so let's leave those questions behind. So dito, we are going to classify what if the given is a polynomial or not. So polynomial siya, isusulat natin siya dito. And if not, we are going to write it here. Okay, so kanina, we are able to identify that among this given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 examples, we have therefore which is non-polynomial. And ano-ano po yung mga numbers na yon? So ito po yung mga numbers na yan. We have 3, 4, 5, and 6. I mean 6 and 7. So these are non or not polynomial functions. So let me write it here. We have p of x equals 3 over x. Then the other one is f of x equals 9 square root of x plus 2x. So pwedeng p of x, pwedeng f of x. Kasi number 6, we have f of x equals 5 minus 4 over x squared. And we also have p of x equals 1 or x raised to 1 half plus 2. So bakit sila hindi polynomial function? It is because there is a variable x inside the radical sign in the denominator, and it has a fraction exponent. So, walang ganun tayo sa polynomial function. By the way, si polynomial function is the same as polynomial equation and polynomial expression. They just have different appearances where expressions, just an expression, equation, there is an equal sign and it is equated to 0. And function naman, it is equated to p of x, f of x, or simply y. Okay, so we use p of x, we use f of x, we also use y now to substitute p of x or f of x. Okay, so let me write the polynomial functions. So which are the polynomial functions? So ito po yung mga yon. So let me write it here. P of x equals x plus x squared plus x cubed. P of x equals x raised to 4 minus 1/8x. Then we also have number 5, f of x is equal to x raised to 4 over 3 or 2. Mamaya I'll explain bakit na-consider ito as polynomial function. Then we have number 8, p of x equals 4x minus 2 plus 2x minus 3. Then p of x equals 12. P of x equals 5x plus 1. P of x equals x cubed plus x raised to 4 plus x raised to 6. And last one, we have p of x is equal to 5 minus x raised to 11. So medyo maingay lang sa paligid. Okay lang. Lalakasan ko na lang yung boses ko para marinig nyo. So, let us now identify the degree. So, these are the polynomial functions and their degree is the highest exponent. So, all you have to do is to identify the highest exponent. So, paulit-ulit ko to na binabanggit kasi meron at meron tayong mga classmates dyan na nakakalimutan ano po ang ibig sabihin ng degree. Pag sinabing degree, highest exponent. Okay? So, erase ko muna yan kasi hindi kasha yung ating ano, sagot. Okay? So, I am going to write it here. So, the degree here is 3, dito 4, dito 2. That's why we consider this as polynomial function because 4 over 2 is 2. Therefore, you have x squared there. So, that's a polynomial function. So, wala siyang fraction exponent. Next, we have here 1. Dito 0, dito 1, dito 6, and dito 11. So, how about the leading coefficient? When we say leading coefficient, it is the coefficient of the term with the highest exponent. So, let's say dito, I have here 3 as a degree. So, yung term na may 3 na exponent, yung pinakamataas na exponent, is this term. So, ano yung coefficient niyan? So, yung numerical coefficient niyan is 1. So, pag sinabing leading coefficient ng ano, ang tinutukoy ng leading coefficient is the coefficient of that term with the highest exponent. So, sa number 2, tingnan natin yung number 2. So, sa number 2, makikita mo, x raised to 4. Yan yung leading term. That's why, yung coefficient niyan ang magiging leading coefficient. Okay? So, I am going to rewrite it kasi nakadikit na siya sa coefficient. So, dito siya dapat, no? Kaya lang wala tayong space. So, dito 1. Dito 1 ulit. Dito, if you simplify this, pag sinimplify mo yan, magiging ano yan? 6x minus 5. So, ang magiging leading coefficient natin dyan is 6. Okay? Kasi nandun yun yung coefficient ng leading term. So, this is 12. Ito naman 5. Ito 1. And ito negative 1. Okay, so those are the leading coefficients. So what is the importance of this? We have to identify the degree and at the same time, the leading coefficient. Kasi nga kanina, as I have mentioned, we are going to have leading coefficient test. Okay, so the leading coefficient test is you are going to test the leading coefficient or identify the leading coefficient and the degree, and then you will, by doing those, you are going to identify if or what is the behavior of the graph. Okay, so ang pinaka-goal natin dito is to graph a polynomial function. That's why we have to understand the polynomial function itself para maintindihan natin yung graph niya. Okay, now let's proceed. Ano yung mouse ko? Yan. So these are the polynomial functions. We are done with that. So dahil kailangan nating maintindihan yung graph and the function itself, naintindihan na natin yung function kanina, then now we are going to identify and understand yung graph naman ng mga functions na ito. So para maintindihan natin siya, let us focus first to the first example, and that's p of x equals x plus 3, x plus 2, x plus 1. So in understanding the graph, we have to identify the leading coefficient. We have to identify the degree. And using those two, maintindihan natin yung end behavior ng. Okay? So, ang kagandahan dito sa polynomial function na to is, una, naka-factored form po siya. So, as you can see, naka-factored form siya. Pag naka-factored form, madaling maintindihan dahil nakukuha mo agad yung x-intercept. By the way, what is an x-intercept? Sa graph, si x-intercept ay yung values ng x kung saan tumatama o dumadaan yung ating graph. Okay? So, yung word ko is tumatama or dumadaan. Or in other words, cross or touch. Mamaya maintindihan nyo ano yung cross, ano yung touch. Kailan malalaman nagko-cross yung graph, kailan malalaman nagta-touch yung graph. Okay? So, we have to identify the x-intercept, and for you to identify that, dapat yung y natin is 0. Next, we also have the Y-intercept. Si Y-intercept naman, dinadaanan din to ng graph natin. And kung kanina, si x-intercept pinahanap, yung y ginawang 0 or we set the value of y to 0, dito isi-set naman natin yung value ni x to 0. Okay? So pag nasita natin yung value niyan to 0, pwede na natin makuha yung x-intercept. Sa case na to, dahil naka-factored form tayo, pag kinuha natin yung y, ang y natin ay ito, yan yung magiging y natin. So y magiging 0 is equal to x plus 3, x plus 2, and x plus 1. So pag in-equate mo yan to 0, x plus 3 equals 0, x equals negative 3. So ganun lang. X plus 2 equals 0, x is equal to negative 2. Ito naman si x plus 1 equals 0, x is equal to negative 1. So yun po yung magiging value. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. Kung ayaw mo na siyang i-equate to 0, okay lang. Kasi you can also do it just by getting the inverse of the sign. So if it's positive, negative yung value ng x. If it's plus, negative yung value. If it's plus, negative yung value. So syempre, kung minus, positive yung value. Okay? So ano na yung mga yung mga x-intercept natin. So yung x-intercept natin dito ay negative 3, negative 2, and negative 1. Okay. Next, y-intercept. So y-intercept naman is x equals 0. So if you have here p of x, so p of x natin will be y. So y equals x plus 3. So that's 0. 0 plus 3. Si x magiging 0. 0 plus 2. 0 plus 1. Or simply, y equals 3 times 2 times 1. So 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. So what now is our y-axis? Y-axis is equal to 6. Bakit ko ito binabanggit? Itong x-axis and y-axis. Dahil sa graph natin, meron dadaanan yung graph at ang mga dadaanan niya ay ito. Okay? You can also create a table of value, pero ako, ang ginagamit ko lang is si x-intercept and si y-intercept. It can also give us the graph na nararapat for that polynomial function. Okay? So, hanapin natin yung mga x. So, ito yung mga x natin, which is negative 3. Ayan. Sulat ko na rin. This is the negative 2. And this is negative 1. So, we have negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. So, nasa naman si 6, yung y. Siyempre, nandun siya sa y. Ito, x-axis to, axis. At ito naman yung y-axis. So, actually, nandun siya sa pinakataas, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, siguro nandito siya. No? Minimit niya dyan si graph. Okay? So, hindi na natin siya makita kasi putol na yung graph. Pero ganun po yung itsura niya. Nandun siya, nagmi-meet sila dyan ni 6. So, let's say, gawa tayo ng mini sample. So, 1, 2, 3. Actually, ang itsura niya ay ganito. Tapos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ay, pinagkamali ka ng ano. Yan. Tayo sa taas. Yan. So, dadaan siya dun kay 6. Ganun yung magiging itsura niya. So, kaya ko siya ini-explain. Kaya ko ini-explain si x X-intercept and si Y-intercept para maintindihan ninyo na ito po yung mga dinadaanan ng graph natin. So, ano naman yung kailangan nating aralin dyan? Ang kailangan kasi nating aralin dyan is yung behavior ng graph. When I say behavior, or also known as the end behavior of the graph, aalamin mo yung kabila, yung kaliwang tail niya at yung kanan na tail kung saan papunta. Pataas ba? Pababa ba? Dito sa graph na to, hindi nyo makikita kasi putol yung graph and kasi continuous yung graph natin. When I say continuous, tuloy-tuloy yan, hindi yan nag-end. Pero yung totoo, meron yan dito. So may arrow yan dito. So kung may arrow yan dyan, ibig sabihin tuloy-tuloy yan. Hindi yan natatapos. Okay? So, yung arrow na yan yung tinutukoy natin kung falling ba siya, rising, pareho ba silang rising, pareho ba silang falling. So, ganun po. Okay? Ngayon, dahil alam na natin kung ano yung x-intercept and yung y-intercept, ang gagawin natin is we are going to identify the end behavior. So, alam na natin bakit ganyan yung itsura ng graph, bakit siya parang lumiliko ng ganyan, because dumadaan siya sa x-intercept at sa y-intercept. Ngayon, ang kailangan nating malaman ay kung ano yung magiging behavior nung dulo. Okay? Kung ano yung magiging behavior nung dulo, nung tail. Ang tawag natin doon sa dulo na yon ay yung tail. So let us first identify the leading coefficient. So kailangan ma-identify mo yung leading coefficient and yung degree. So let's study the graph. Ano yung magiging itsura ng end behavior niya? Or ano yung magiging end behavior niya kung ganito yung coefficient, kung ganyan yung degree, and so on. So ano yung kailangan nating alamin dito? Kailangan natin alamin if the leading coefficient is a positive number or a negative number. Okay? So, kailangan mo malaman if it's positive or negative. While in the degree, we have to identify if the degree is odd or even. So, kailangan malaman natin if the degree is odd or even. Now, ano nga ba yung leading coefficient ng ating given? So, para malaman yung leading coefficient, all you have to do is to multiply all the variable x. Okay, dahil naka-factored form tayo, dahil factored form yan, all you have to do is to multiply all the variable x. So, x times x times x is x cubed. Therefore, the numerical coefficient is 1. Let me write it here, 1. And the exponent or the degree is 3. Okay, so dito ko siya nakuha. Minultiply ko yung variable x. Now, ano yung naging itsura ng graph natin? Alam natin that the left tail is falling. So, ito yung left tail. It is falling. And the right tail is rising. So, we can write it here na yung left falls and the right rises. Okay? So, looking at the graph, we now know that when the leading coefficient is positive and the degree is odd, therefore, the left falls and the right rises. Okay? So the left falls and the right rises. So pag ang LC mo ay positive, ang degree mo ay odd. Therefore, left falls and right rises. So, palatandaan lang to. Okay? So, paano naman kapag ang degree ay even? Paano naman kung ang degree ay, the leading coefficient is negative? Paano kung ang degree ay even? And so on and so forth. So, let us have another example. So, ito. We have here, sulat ko sa taas, p of x equals x plus 2, x plus 1, x minus 1, and x minus 2. So as you can see, this is also a factored form. Naka-factored na siya. That's why it is easier for us to identify the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Y yan ah. Wait lang. Ayusin natin. X-intercept and y-intercept. Okay? Then, later on, we will identify the leading coefficient, their degree, and the end behavior. So the x-intercept would be y equals 0. Alam na natin yan. So ibig sabihin, x is equal to negative 2, x equals negative 1, x is 1, x is 2. So dito siya galing. Okay, naintindihan? While the y-intercept, where x is 0, y is equal to 2. So 0 plus 2 is 2, times 0 plus 1 is 1, times 0 minus 1 is negative 1, 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So ganun na lang. Mas mabilis. So y is equal to 2 times 1 is 2, times negative 1 is negative 2, times negative 2 is positive 4. So ito yung mga values kung saan dadaan yung ating graph. Okay? So tingnan natin kung doon nga siya dumaan. So sa x, we have negative 2, negative 1. Chine-check lang muna natin ha. 1 and 2, correct. And yung y-intercept, ayun, positive 4. Next, let us have the LC. The LC, multiply natin yung mga x, no? So we have x times x times x times x. So we have x raised to 4. Diyan natin makukuha si LC and si degree. So the LC is 1, the degree is 4, and the end behavior should be, kitang-kita naman, di ba? That both left and right tail of the graph is rising. So both left and right, ay mali. So both left and right rises. Okay, so let me write rises. Or simply, we can write it like this na both rises. So kanina, tingnan natin yung difference, no? Dito positive, tapos odd. Dito, positive, pero even. So tingnan natin. Si LC, positive. Si degree, even. Both rises. So, kapag add yan, yung isa fall, yung isa rises. Okay? So, naintindihan natin na kapag pala positive yung LC at yung degree ay even, both of them will rise. Okay? Now, let us have more examples para mas maintindihan natin yung behavior ng graph. Okay? So, I have here P of X P of X equals negative X plus 1 squared X minus 1 X minus 2 squared. So, bago tayo tumuloy doon, pansinin ninyo na meron tayo ditong exponent. Okay, ibig sabihin nito, kapag nag-expand yan, meron tayo dyang x squared. Dito meron tayong x. And dito meron tayong x squared. So, kapag multiply natin yan, we'll have x raised to 5. And since may negative sign tayo dito, this will be negative. Okay? So, mamaya na natin i-identify yung mga x and y-intercept nito. Let us first focus sa LC, sa degree, and sa end behavior. Okay? So, the LC here is a negative number, negative 1. And the degree is 5. So, the end behavior, tingnan natin. So, kapag pala negative, yung LC at yung degree ay 5, ganito pala ang itsura, no? Yung right, ay, that pala left muna. Sige, okay lang yan. So, the left rises and the right falls. Yan ay nangyayari kapag ang LC mo ay negative at ang degree ay odd. Okay? Next. We have here P of X equals negative X plus 3, X plus 1, X minus 2, X minus 4. So, tingnan natin. We have here X, 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 apat. So, we have X raised to 4. Since we have here negative, magiging negative X raised to 4. So, let us identify the LC, D, ay bakit C? Dapat D. Dapat D, degree, and the end behavior. So, the LC is negative 1, and the degree is 4. So, what will be the end behavior? Tingnan natin. Kung makikita nyo, yung left and right tail niya is both falling. So, we can write it here, both false. Because, ay, ganda ng bracket ko, no? Because the left falls and the right falls. Okay? So, pag tinignan natin yung apat, ano yung mapagtatanto natin? So, let us have another page for that. So, kung mapapansin nyo, dalawa lang naman yung tinitingnan natin. Ang tinitingnan natin is the leading coefficient and the degree. So, yan lang yung tinitingnan natin, 'di ba? Yang dalawang yan lang. So, pag tinignan mo yung dalawang yan, ano yung unang tinitingnan mo? Kung positive, yung LC, and so on. Ayusin ko lang yung pagkakasulat ng degree, dapat hindi dyan. Dapat dito. Yan. So, si LC kanina, tinitingnan natin if it's positive or negative. While si degree, tinitingnan natin if it's odd or even. Actually, itong ginagawa ko is a table para mas maintindihan ninyo. Huwag niyong makalimutan yung lesson natin. Okay, so para kapag kayo na yung nagsasagot, ay tabingi. Sorry, ulitin natin. So para kapag kayo na yung nagsasagot, di kayo mahirapan. Hindi nyo agad makalimutan, ibig kong sabihin. Ano ba yun? Hirap mag-ruler. Yan. Yan. Tapos, dapat dito inaano eh. Ay, saan ba ako? Ay, dito pala. Ayan. Ay, ano nangyari? Tanggalin natin yan sobra. So, yan po yung ating magiging table. Tapos, last na. Ba't nagaganon yung gawa ko? Hindi ko na alam bakit eh. Dapat pala gawin ko na 'to 'no, para susunod kong mga lesson hindi na ako magsusulat. So, 'pag positive ang LC at odd naman yung degree, all you have to remember is that kapag odd, different directions. Different directions alin? Different directions nung left and right tail. Okay, so yun naman yung goal natin eh, to know the direction of the left and the right part or the tail, not part, but the tail. So even naman, all you have to remember is they have the same directions. So hindi niyo na siya makakalimutan kasi pag nakita niyo na odd yung exponent, magkaiba direction nito nung dalawang tail. While kapag even yung kanyang degree, pareho 'to ng ano, direction. Okay? Next, kapag positive, ang kailangan yung tandaan is sa kanan siya nagre-rise. Tumataas. While sa negative, sa left yung rising. So, syempre, the other one, syempre, magkaiba na sila ng ano, direction. Ay, dapat di ko muna sinulat yun. Excited. So, kapag naman, syempre, magkaiba sila ng direction. Yung isa, syempre, fall na yan. Yung nasa left. Ito naman, yung nasa right, fall. So, madalas, ang itsura ng ating graph dyan ay pag ganito. Yun. And sa negative, ganyan. So, makakakita kayo ng mga graph kung saan
yung isa ay falling, yung isa ay rising, add yung degree nun. Pag positive, sa right nagre-rise, and pag negative, sa left rising. Okay? So, ayusin ko lang yung graph ko kasi hindi makatotohanan. Ayusin natin, pinakamaayos sa lahat ng maayos. Pinakamaayos. Yan. And, o, diba? Ang ayos. And kapag even po, both of them have the same direction. So kapag positive yung LC, both of them will rise. And kapag negative si LC, both of them will fall. So yun lang yung, ito nga pinakamadaling tandaan kasi pareho sila ng direction. Okay? So nagbabago lang kapag positive, negative, alamin niyo na kung saan siya nagre-rise, saan siya nagfo-fall, pag-add, kasi magkaiba ng directions. Pag even, yung degree, dahil same directions lang. Pag positive, rises, both rises, and pag negative, both falls. Okay? So, ganun po yung end behavior natin. And ang tawag natin dito is the leading coefficient test. Inaalam natin kung ano yung direction ng tail ng graph ng polynomial function. Okay? So, yun lang yung kailangan yung tignan. LCN degree lang. Then, tandaan nyo lang kung same direction or different direction. Is it going to the left, rising to the left, or falling to the right, and so on and so forth. So, dito we can say that the left falls and the right rises. Dito naman, left rises and the right falls. Ito naman, both rises and ito naman, both falls. O, ba't balls? Binasulat ko. Yan. Okay. So, yan po yung first part ng graphing of polynomial. So, kailangan maintindihan nyo muna yung end behavior. Next part is yung pag-graph itself. So, bakit ako bumalik dito? Because I want you to look at this example. So, yung example na to, you can see ay may square. Okay? So, let us have that's P of X. Sulat natin. P of X equals negative X, ano nga yun? X plus 1. X plus 1 squared. X minus 1. X minus 2 squared. Check ko lang kung tama. Yeah, tama. So, aside from the leading coefficient test na kailangan alam nyo, kailangan alam nyo rin po yung mga values or zeros. So, since ito ay naka-factored form, ulitin ko lang, ito ay naka-factored form, madali na siyang mag-graph. Ano lang kailangan yung tignan? Kailangan nyo lang tignan ano yung magiging value ng x-intercept and ano yung magiging value ng y-intercept. So the x-intercept here is x equals negative 1, x is 1, x is positive 2, right? Positive 2. So x is negative 1, x, 1, x. Tapos, may makikita kayo dyan na minsan talaga meron siyang exponent. Yung factor itself, meron siyang exponent. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng exponent na yan? Ibig sabihin ng exponent na yan is a multiplicity.
So, ang tawag natin dyan, multiplicity. Yung multiplicity, will identify kung siya ba ay magko-cross or magta-touch. Okay? So, kapag sinabi kasing x plus 1 squared, ibig sabihin, dadaan siya doon ng 2 beses. Ganon. Pero, multiplicity also means if it will pass or it will just touch. So, kunwari, yan, tulad niyan, 2 beses siya. Diba? -1 yan. So, if this is your graph, may -1 ka dito, mag-graph tayo dyan, dadaan siya dyan ng 2 beses, isa, dalawa. So, kung dadaan siya dyan ng 2 beses, magta-touch lang siya. Pero, kung odd, yung multiplicity, di lang siya basta magta-touch, kundi magko-cross siya. So, para mas maintindihan ninyo, odd, multiplicity, and the other one is even, multiplicity. Multiplicity. Okay? So, kapag even multiplicity, touch, but not cross. The other one, pag add multiplicity, it will definitely cross. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung exponent, yung multiplicity nila. So, ang multiplicity po nito, si -1 ay 2. Ibig sabihin, it will touch. Si 1 ay 1. Ibig sabihin, it will cross. Si 2 ay 2 din. So, it will touch. -1, touch. 1, cross. 2, touch. Tingnan natin ah. -1, touch. Sunod. Ano nga sunod doon? 2. I mean, si 1. Cross. O, ayan o, nag-cross siya. Ito o, kung nakikita nyo. Wait lang, gamit ako ng red. So, ito, nag-cross, nag-touch sa -1. Sa 1, nag-cross. And then sa 2, nag-touch. Pag sinabi kasing cross, as in lalampas siya. Pag touch lang, ganyan lang. Okay, so yan yung kinaibahan ng dalawa. So para mas maintindihan nyo, let me show it to you how to graph this. Try natin to. Ulitin ko, kailangan may Y-intercept kasi sa Y-intercept dumadaan din siya. So that's negative times 1 times negative pala yun. -1 times +1 times +2. So y is equal to -1 times 1 times 2 is -2. So y is equal to 2. Tingnan nga natin doon. Is it 2? Ay, no. Wait. Dahil may exponent sila, you have to consider the exponent. So, -1 squared times +1 times 2 squared. Ayan, dapat ganyan. So, -1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 plus positive 1 is 1 times 4 is positive 4. So, dapat magiging negative 4. Di ba may mali dito sa graph? Anyway, naging positive 1. Negative, negative. Oh, dapat negative. So, dapat ganito siya. So, kapag i-graph ko to, may something sa given. So, pag in-graph ko to, I'll have here, di ba, may something. So, ay, bakit yan? Dapat medyo mataas. Kasi nasa negative part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, doon tayo muna sa negative 1. Negative 1 touch. So, yung behavior nito, let's find out the LC. Right falls, left rises. So, galing siya dito. Rises eh. It will touch the negative 1. Oo nga, no. So, dapat positive siya. Kasi hindi siya pwede sa negative 4. Ay, ko-correct ko na lang to if ever there are wrong example here. Ha? Pero dapat sa positive 4 siya tataas. Hindi pwede sa negative 4. 2, 3, 4. So, dito siya, dapat mag-positive 4 siya. Baka may something sa given. Then, bababa siya, magkocross siya sa 1. Then, we'll touch 2. Ay. One, 2, 3, 4. Tama. O, di ba ang pangit ng gawa ko? So, ganun talaga siya. Should be positive 4. Baka may something sa given na to. Okay? Pero it should be positive 4. Ko alam po ano yung something sa kanya. Next. Ito naman. If you get the value of x here, you'll have alam ko na kung ano. Hindi na to need. Hindi na kailangan yung negative sign. So, ganun din dito. X equals negative 3. X equals negative 1. X equals 2. Bakit plus 2? X equals 4. So, kapag minultiply mo sila, this is positive 3 times 2. Positive 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. So, di ba? Negative. Y-intercept is negative 24. So, ito siya. So, kung nakikita nyo. Ayan. Tapos, ito yung 3. Negative 3, negative 1. Positive 2, positive 4. So, ayan yung graph niya. So, let us have this. Ito ay parang review na lang nun. So, leading coefficient is 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1. Odd, even, odd, or even. So dito, makikita nyo that since it's positive and odd, false, rise, rises. Then, dito, positive and even, both rises. Dito naman, negative, so rises left, falls right. And ito naman, both false. So false, false. And rise, false, false, false. Okay, so there are 4 cases of leading coefficient test. So this will be, okay, given a polynomial function in standard form, the table shows below the behavior of the graph. Ayan, pag positive yung leading coefficient, add yung degree, falls left, rises to the right. So inulit lang. Negative leading coefficient, add yung degree, rises to the left, falls to the right. And pag positive, yung leading coefficient and the degree is even, both rises. Basta pag even, pareho sila ng direction. So pag negative, both falls. So ngayon naman, ang susunod natin is mag-graph tayo ng function. So for us to graph a function, you have to follow the steps. So nag-highlight ako dyan para yung mga naka-highlight ang tatandaan ninyo. So we have to get the factored form. We have to determine the end behavior, yung ginawa natin kanina. And you have to find the zeros, yung ginagawa natin last modules natin, no? Kinukuha natin yung zeros, yung gumagamit tayo ng synthetic division. Or kaya naman ang remainder theorem. Then, titingnan mo rin yung multiplicity nila tulad kanina kapag even, it will touch. Pag odd, it will cross. Ito multiplicity of the zeros is 7 and touches the x-axis but will not cross. If it's odd, then the graph crosses the axis. And then, pwede tayong gumawa ng table of values for that para makuha natin yung graph itself. We can also, and now, you are ready to plot the points kung may table of values ka na. And number 6, you can now graph. So dito, you can first complete the table. Okay? So let us have this first. Wag na yan. Let us proceed to examples na. Ito, pwede natin itong gawin. Mas ano to. So the zeros, ito, value nito, 0. Ito, value nito, of course, is positive 2. Ito, value nito is negative 1. Ito, value nito is positive 3, multiplicity 2. Okay? So, zeros, 0, 2, negative 1, positive 3. Then yung zeros, 1, or multiplicity. Ito 1 din, ito 1, kasi isa lang yung exponent nila eh. Right? So, yun yung multiplicity. Then si 3, 2. So, yung characteristic ng multiplicity is, mangyayari dito, it will cross, 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 and ito, touch. So, ano yung magiging behavior ng graph natin? Since the LC is positive 1, the degree is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, positive, tapos even, of course, the behavior of the graph, both rises. Okay? Both rises. Pwede natin to i-graph, no? So let's graph this. Ano nga ulit yung given? X minus 2, minus 2 plus 1 minus 2. Negative ba? Tingnan mo, nakalimutan ko na. Positive. So, P of X ba yung gamit niya? P of X equals X. Yeah. So we identified that X is 0, X is 2, X is negative 1, baka mukhang 7, X is negative 1, X is positive 3. Multiplicity 2. Ba't ganyan ko sinusulat yun? Dapat ganito. Yan. So let's plot the points. Let us find first the y-intercept. So y-intercept is 0. Kung 0 to, pag minultiply natin yan lahat, times 0, 0 na. So y is 0. Kasi ito magiging 0. 0 times 0 minus 2 times 1 times 3. Negative 3 pala. Squared. O, di ba? Magiging 0 na yan lahat. So we have here, lakayan natin 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yan. Yung LC natin, go back to LC. LC is 1. Degree is 2, 3, 4, 5. So both false. Ay, hindi. Add pala to. So, ibig sabihin, hindi both. Kasi magkaibang direction sila. So, the left, false. The right, rises. So, una tayong pupunta kay negative 1. So, dito, false, di ba? Magko-cross tayo kay negative 1. Cross, sunod kay 0, tapos kay 2, tapos kay 3. So, ulitin natin, ha? Let us plot the points first. So, we have 1, 0, 2, and 3. So, dyan tayo dadaan. Kay 3, ano lang tayo? Touch. So, cross. Ay! Pangit naman ang ano ko. So, cross. Ay, hirap mag-graph. Cross. 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 Ay! Mali yung cross ko doon. Ba't ganun yung ano ko dito? Cross. Cross, touch. Yay! Ayan. Medyo ano lang. Kasi pag tinanggal ko 'to, 'di ba, oh, tingnan niyo, tanggal lahat. Cross, cross, cross. Okay. So, ganyan magiging itsura. So, pag mas maganda yung itsura niyan, mas smooth yung mga ano, turns natin. Kasi may mga turns yan eh. So, medyo hindi lang smooth yung turn natin dito. Okay, so dapat smooth yung turn natin dyan. By the way, speaking of turn, may mga turns din tayo dito. Returnings. Returning. Or you can also call it turns. Okay? So, yung turns natin, binibilang din siya. So, let's say, nag-turn tayo dito 1. Pangalawang turn. Pangatlong turn. Pang-apat na turn. So, ang number of turns natin, yan natin. Erase natin. Ulitin ko. Gamit tayo ng color yellow. So, ito, 1. Ito, 2. Ito, 3. Ito, 4 turns. Okay, so there are 4 turns. Ay, turns. Dapat turn, di turns. So there are 4 turns. And actually, si number of terms ay nakukuha dun sa degree minus 1. So the degree here is 5. So 5 minus 1. The number of turns is 4. So there are 4 turning points. Okay? So meron tayong 4 na turning points. Ito yon. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 turning points. So that's how you graph a given polynomial function. Okay? Ito. How about the turning points? So ito ang hinihingi naman niya ay yung turning points. So, alamin natin yung number of turning points. Madali lang yon. Identify mo muna the degree. So the degree here is 2. Degree here is 3 plus 1, 4. 5 plus 4, char. Di pa to naka-factored form. So, nag-add lang tayo ng exponent kapag naka-factored form. So, ito kasi kanina may 1 and 1. So, plus, plus. So, 2. Ito, may multiplication dito. So, 1 plus 3, 4. Eh, dito, sa part na to, hindi na siya naka-factored form. So, bali, itong dalawa lang, naka-factored form. Ang ginagawa natin dyan is, we are adding exponent. Pero pag hindi siya naka-factored form tulad nito, syempre kung ano lang yung pinakamataas. Ito, naka-factored form. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ito, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yung number of turning points natin should be minus 1 of this. So mag-minus 1 lang tayo dyan. Yun yung number of turning points. So the number of turning points there is 1. Dito, 3, 4, 3, 3. Okay? So, yan yung i-expect natin na number of turns. Now, let us try to answer or graph the following. So, as you can see, yung una, ito yung p of x equals x times x minus 1 squared and x plus 2 cubed and x plus 3, makikita nyo dito that the x or the given are in factored form. While in letter B, hindi siya naka-factored form. So, ang gagawin natin is, ito muna. Okay? So, ano na yung mga kailangan natin malaman? Kailangan natin malaman ay yung X-intercept, the Y-intercept, you have to know the number of turning points, the LC, the degree, and the end behavior. Ganyan lang pag mag-graph na tayo. So, the x-intercept, dahil madali lang naman to, all we have to do is to get the value of x. So, 0. Ito naman, positive 1. Ito naman, negative 2. Ito naman, negative 3. So, remember the multiplicity. So, x, 0. X is 1. Multiplicity 2. X is negative 2. Multiplicity 3. Then x is negative 3. Next, the y-intercept. Dito natin isolve si y-intercept. All I have to do is to make x 0. If I do that, I'll have y equals 0 times 0 minus 1, 0 plus 2, 0 plus 2. So, dyan pa lang, makikita nyo na that since meron tayong one factor that is 0, magiging 0 na yung y. Okay, automatically, ganon. So, our y here is 0. Now, our TP or turning point is degree minus 1. So, the degree here is 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ay, bakit 8 na sinulat ko? Dapat 1 lang eh. So, 8. Malinaw ba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, we have degree 8. So, the number of turning points is 7. Dami, no? LC is LCI 1, of course. Then, the end behavior, both rises. Kasi even to eh. Even and positive. So, both rises yung magiging graph natin. So, let's graph it. Remember the multiplicity. So, isulat ko ulit dito yung x. X is 0. X is 1. X is negative 2. X is negative 3. So, yung multiplicity 2, multiplicity 3. So, kapag even, tulad nito, it will only touch pag ito naman, cross. And ito, syempre, cross. Cross. Now, let's plot the points. The points are 0. Nakikita ba? Or should I use purple? 0. So, gawin natin tong 1, 2, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Hindi naman natin kailangan ng y. Naglagay lang. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, -2, -3, -4. So, let us have 0. So, ayan na. Meron na tayong point dyan. Sunod. Tama bang dapat, ayan, yellow na lang. 0, +1. Then we have -2. Then we have -3. So again, both of them rises. So mula dito, magra-rise sila. Aangat. Okay? So ganyan. So sa 3, magko-cross. Burahin ko muna Basta ganyan itsura. So sa 3, cross. Sa -3, I mean. Sa -3, cross. Tapos sa -2, cross din. So, ganito magiging itsura niya. Then, sa 0, cross din. Then, sa 1, magta-touch. Sa 1, ito, magta-touch. Kailangan pa natin ng isang value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kailangan pa natin ng iba pang value. Now, let's say, I am going to substitute 1. So, substitute tayo ng 1. Y is equal to 1 times 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1. Ay. Pag 1 yung x. Gawin natin touch. Saan kaya siya sunod na mag-fall? Dapat siguro 2. 2 or 3. 2 tayo, 2. 2 minus 1 squared. 2 plus 2 squared, cube. 2 plus 3. And so 2 times 2 minus 1 is 1. 1. 2, 2, 4. Cube. 4, 16. 16 times 4 is, ano na yung 16 times 4? Wait lang. 40. 24, 64. 64. 2 plus 3, 5. Malaki na siya. 2 times 1 times 64 times 5. 640. Ang layo. So by the way, ganito yan. Ang sinasabi naman na number of turning points ay at most. So at most, 7 turning points ang meron tayo. So I don't know kung saang part siya dyan maglaland. Basta maglaland siya dyan or may isa pa siyang part dito na aakyatan. Basta ang mangyayari is ganyan na meron tayong both rises. So aangat pa siya dito. I don't know which part of this. Okay? Kung aling part dyan yung aangatan niya. Nasasakto siya as the given. Okay? So as long as we are able to show that both arises. That's why sabi nila it is important to have a table of values. Kasi pag may table of values ka, doon mo makikita kung ano yung magiging points mo na hindi mo pa nakikita dyan. So, let us have, wait, tignan natin yung geometry ba yun? Ito. Ito ba yun? O matagal siya mag-ano. Keep natin muna to. Ah, saan ba dito yun? Ito, graphic calculator. Let us try kung saang part siya. Papakita ko sa inyo. Wait lang, hintayin lang natin siya mag-loading. Ayun, tagal. Ba't ang tagal? Tagal niya magbukas. Oh, so, habang hinihintay natin siya, ayun na, bubukas na siya. Ang dami tuloy. Ito lang kailangan ko. So, kaya ko siya papakita sa inyo para ma-check natin yung graph. Okay. Ayan. Ito ba yun? Oh, ito nga yun. So, y equals x, x minus 1. Yan natin ang exponent 2. Wait lang, lalakihan ko lang itong tinitingnan ko. Hindi ko kasi makita eh. 2, x plus 3. Ito pala. 2. Tapos, ang exponent ay 3. X plus 3. Ayan. Ba't ganun? Ba't may mali ba sa ano natin kanina? Wait lang ah. Kaya siguro hindi ko siya nakukuha. Wait lang. Yung behavior natin. 1. Ah, ang tanga-tanga ko, no? Sorry for the word. Kaya pala, sabi ko, ba't hindi ko nakukuha? Kasi ang bilang natin sa degree ay 8. So, it should be 7. Ang tanga. So, kung 7 yan, kaya pala sabi ko, ba't parang may mali ako? So, it should be 7. So, that is 7. Kapag 7 yan, ah, odd. So, kung odd, positive tapos odd, o di ba hindi siya both rises. Dapat yung isa ay, paano ko ito makikita? Kung nakikita yung ano ka. Hindi siya both rises. Okay, let's erase. Yan, tong part na to. Yan. Erase natin yan. Galing na may eraser pala dito. Hindi ko na siya ma-erase kasi kinip ko na siya kanina. So, dapat 7 and it is an odd number. So, dapat rises yung right, and false yung left. So it shouldn't be like this. Hindi ko na siya ma-erase, no? So para mas maintindihan nyo, let's do it again. Balikan natin. Saan ako sumobrang bilang kanina? Ito. Itong part na to. Wala, hindi ko makita. Ayun, ayun, yun. Ito. Yan. Siyempre, wala ko talagang kausap, kaya wala magko-correct sa akin. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, 7 lang dapat. So, 0, 1, -2, -3. 0, 1, -2, -3. As you can see, 0, cross, touch, cross, cross. 2, 3. So, this will cross, touch, cross, cross. Hindi ko na ilalagay yung number, ha. This is 1, 0, isa natin. Should be -2. 0, 1, -2, -3. 1, so -1, -2, -3. This is 1. So, mangyayari ay 3 cross. So, dito siya. -2 cross. Pangit na naman ang pag-graph ko. Ito yung matagal eh, no? Tapos, cross. Cross sa part na to. -2. Tapos, cross. Tapos, touch. And then, ganyan ang itsura niya. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So, 4 yung ating turning points dito, pero it should be 7 kasi meron pa tayong mga hindi na daanan na dapat daanan. Okay? So, para makita nyo, ito, yung Y natin. Yan. Ito yung Y natin, that is 0. Tapos, meron pa siyang isa pang dadaanan dito, no, na hindi na natin na-solve kasi ang sinolve lang natin ay yung mga x-axis. So, kung makikita nyo dito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. Meron pa ba siyang dadaanan doon? Ayun, tignan nyo, 5 lang. Ibig sabihin talaga at most of our curve or turning points is 7. Sige, bilangin ulit natin. So, this is the graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So, pag nagta-turn siya or nagta-touch, I mean, dito sa 2, makikita nyo, may pa-ganyan siya. May pa-curve siyang ganyan. So, it is important also to have a graphing calculator. Kahit sa phone lang, may mga ganito sa phone para makita nyo rin yung graph itself. And because the graph that we have chosen here is medyo complicated, kaya ganon. Okay, so gayahin natin. Gumaya na lang, no? May curve pala yan dyan. Kasi meron pa siyang isa dito nadadaanan bago siya dun umakyat, tapos saka siya mag-touch, saka siya aakyat. O, di ba? Ang ganda. So, meron siya diyang ita-touch na. 3 beses kasi siya dito dadaan eh. 1, 2, 3. Kaya ganun. Okay? Sana nung mga sumunod hindi na complicated. Oh, let's have this the 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus x minus 2. So, let us identify first the x-intercept, y-intercept, the turning point, the LC, the degree, and the end behavior. So, I think ito mas madali na. Pero bago yan, we have to first identify the zeros. So, for us to identify the zeros, kailangan natin makuha yung ano, yung given, no? Yung given natin. 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus x plus 2. So, kunin muna natin yung zeros niyan. P of x equals 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus x minus 2. So, una natin gagawin, of course, the possible roots. So, ano na yung mga possible roots niyan? Just by looking at it, 2 divided by 2, 1 divided by 1. So, it can be possible roots are 1 half, positive, negative 1 half, 2, yun lang. So, 1 over 1, meron ding 1, positive, negative 1. So, unahin natin si positive, negative 1, bago si 2. So, we have positive, negative 1, positive, negative 2. So, yun lang naman yung mga possible roots niyan. All we have to do is to use synthetic division. So, that's 2, 5, 1, negative 2, 2, 5, 1, negative 2. So, let us try first yung medyo madugo, yung fraction. So, 1 half, and itong isa ay negative 1 half. So, bring down 2. 2 times 1 half is 1, so this is 6. Times 1 half is 3, this is 4. Times 1 half is 2, this is 0. So, ito, yung 1 half ay isa ng root natin. So, x equals 1 half. Next, how about negative? So, this is 2. Mali yung ano ko, dapat white to. So, we have 2 times negative 1 half is negative 1. So, this is 4. Times negative 1 half is negative 2. So, this is negative 1. Tama ba? Wait lang, check ko muna. Negative 2. Negative 1 times 1 half. Positive 1 half. So, positive 1 half plus 2 or 5 negative, or it should be negative 4 over 2 plus 1 half. That's negative 3 over 2. So, hindi. Hindi siya. X to X. Hingin natin ang X. Next, paano naman si positive, negative 1? So, 2, 5, 1, negative 2, 2, taas natin konti. 2, 5, 1, negative 2. So, lagyan na rin natin dito. Wait lang. Okay. So, we have here
Bring down 2. So times 1 is 2. We have 7. Times 1 is 7. This is 8. Times 1 is 8. And this is positive 6. So it's an x. How about negative 1? So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. This is 3 times negative 1 is 3. Oh, negative 3. So this is negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. This is 0. Wala, mali yung ginamit ko. 2, 3, negative 2. Ayan. So, x is negative 1. Let us try 2. 2 times 2, 4. 9 times 2, 18. 19 times 2, 18, 20, 38, 36. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. This is negative 1 times negative 2 is 2, 0. So, x is negative 2. So, nakuha na natin yung tatlo. 1 half, negative 1, negative 2. Okay? Ayan, nakuha na natin si x-intercept. And then now, kukunin naman natin yung y-intercept. So, si y-intercept, all we have to do is, wait lang, tinanggal ko yung, is to substitute x. No? Substitute tayo sa x ng 0. So, y is equal to 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus x minus 2. Let x be 0. So, y is equal to 2 times 0 cubed plus 5, 0 squared plus 0 minus 2. So, automatically, pag ganito, nakikita nyo na ito, 0 na agad. So, 0 agad. So, 0 agad. So, kapag may nakita kayong ganyan, mostly, kung ano yung constant, yun na po yung y. So, y here is equal to negative 2. So, kapag hindi naka-factored form, tulad nito, at kukunin nyo yung y-intercept, mostly, the constant term is the y-intercept. So, y is equal to negative 2. Turning point, 3 yan. So, 3 minus 1 is 2. So, degree minus 1. Sulat ko nga ng buo yung degree. Para, baka sabihin nyo difference eh. Yan. So, the LC is 2 and the degree is 3. So, positive and odd. So, the left falls, the right rises. So, i-plot natin yung points. So, I'll have this as 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So, this will be, kaya lang ano, diba? Tawag dito, lakihan pa natin. Gawin nating 4 yung Ay, ba't 3 lang yun? Ba't nga 4 eh? So, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, kulang na. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ayan. So, we have 1, 2, -1, -2. Then, yung y natin, we have -1, -2. Siguro sa taas, okay na kahit di na natin lagyan, 'no? Pero lagyan ko. Okay. So, next is, we are going to plot the points. So, we have -2. So, dahil 1 lang yan lahat, ang multiplicity nila, -1 and +1/2. So, ito yun. So, makikita nyo, ang multiplicity nila is 1. So, cross, cross, and cross. So, dahil left false, magko-cross siya dito mamaya. So, ang magiging itsura nito ay, okay, gawin na natin. Ay, hindi tayo nakadaan sa -2. Kailangan natin dumaan sa -2. Cross. Tapos, dadaan tayo sa -2 bago tayo aangat doon. Ay, wait. Okay na yan. Dapat straight to eh. Dapat straight yan ah. Kasi pag ganyan, mukha siyang aangat ulit eh. Ulitin natin. So, -2. Yan, dapat ganyan. So, this is -2. Ito yung y. Ito yung dinaanan niya. So, ito yung the left leg, and this is the right leg. So, ganyan tayo magkakaroon ng graph. Ganyan yung mangyayari, magiging itsura ng graph natin. Okay, so, linawan lang natin yung points. Dumaan na siya doon. Ayan. So, this is the graph of p of x equals 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus x minus 2. So, pasensyahan nyo na yung unang example. Medyo complicated siya kasi malaki masyado yung exponent, yung degree. And namali rin ako ng bilang. So, wala naman tatama sa akin kasi ako lang mag-isa to. Wala akong kasama ditong tatama. Okay? So, susunod naman is we are going to have the solving of polynomial functions. Then, kung magsisolve tayo ng polynomial functions or problems that involves polynomial functions, madali lang naman to. Hindi nyo na kailangan mag-graph and so on. So, proceed na tayo dun sa example para matapos na agad yung video natin. So, I have here in number 1, the area of a rotonda is 21.98 square feet. What is the length of its diameter? When I say the rotonda, it is a building that has a circular space, no? Yung kanilang ground is circle. So, kung rotonda yung sinosolve dito, ibig sabihin, it's a circle. The shape is circle. So, kaya nga meron tayo ditong hint, which is area is a circle, and the formula is x or pi r squared. So, ang kailangan natin is the diameter. So, first, we have to identify the given. So, para maka-identify natin yung given, let us first write the area ng rotonda, and that is 21.98 square feet. Yan. And ano pa ba yung given natin dito? We all know that pi is equal to r. Ay, no. Pi is equal to 3.14. Okay? Now, our solution here would be, wait lang, medyo magaspang kasi yung digital pad. Nagsakit sa tenga. So, ano ang magiging solution natin dito? First, we will use the area of a circle. That is 21.98 feet. We will use the formula, and the formula is pi r squared. Equate natin sila. So we have pi r squared is equal to 21.98. Then since pi is equal to 3.14, that's 3.14 r squared equals 21.98. Divide natin both sides by 3.14. So r squared, let's proceed here. R squared is equal to 7. So, syempre, squared yan. Therefore, we have to get the square root. You can cancel this out. Therefore, the answer is R equals square root of 7. Kaya lang, hindi po yung R yung hinahanap natin. But we are looking for the diameter. So, all we have to do is to multiply this to 2 because the diameter is twice the radius. So, 2 times square root of 7, d is equal to 2 square root of 7. Okay, so the answer here is 2 square root of 7. Okay, now let's proceed to the next example. So number 2 naman, we are going to find the volume of Aerobics cube. So speaking of Rubik's cube, meron na tayong parang activity ng school, ng department ng math, kung saan maglalaro ulit yung mga student ng Rubik's Cube. So, kung paano at kung anong mangyayari, bibigyan ko kayo ng idea kapag meron ng announcement. So, for us to find the Rubik's Cube, the volume, we have to have its measure, yung side. Okay, the measure of its side is x plus 4. So, para makuha natin yung volume ng cube, we have to use this formula, which is s cubed. So, ano ba muna yung given? The given is side is equal to x plus 4, or s is equal to s plus 4, x plus 4. So, isolve natin yung volume niyan, x plus 4 cubed. So, that means you have to multiply it 3 times. No? X plus 4, x plus 4, x plus 4. So we have this x squared plus 8x plus 16. And we have x plus 4. Next, we have x cubed, distributive property, x cubed plus 8x squared plus 16x plus 4x squared plus 8 times 4 is 32x. 16 times 4 is 64. We have to add this. What will be our answer? Our answer would be x cubed plus 12x squared plus 48x plus 64. Okay, so this is the volume of a cube in the form of polynomial function. So, nasa form siya ng polynomial function. Okay? Now, let us have another example. Ay, yun ulit. Number 3. Write the polynomial function p of x with the zeros 2 of multiplicity 3 and -1. So, ano daw yung polynomial functions? So, we can write it as zeros, as factors. Wait lang. So, you can write it in zeros. We'll write it in zeros. So, si p of x, dapat ganito yung form niya. P of x equals, tapos lagyan natin dyan. Zeros is 2, multiplicity 3, and -1. So, ano yung magiging itsura ng ating polynomial niyan? So, ito would be x minus 2 cube. And ito naman ay x plus 1. So, our answer will be p of x equals x minus 2 cube times x plus 1. So, ganun lang siya kadali. How about this one? A farmer has a poultry farm whose area is expressed by the polynomial function p of x equals 8x squared plus 97x plus 12 square meters. What is the actual land area of the poultry farm if x represents 3 meters? So, anong gagawin lang natin doon? Very simple. We have to substitute 3 sa ating x because x is equal to 3. So, P of 3 equals 8 times 3 square plus 97 times 3 plus 12. So, 3 square is 9. So, 8 times 9 is 72 plus 97 times 3 is 291 plus 12. So, i-add lang natin sila. 291 plus 72 plus 12. That is 375. Meaning, since P of 3 is equal to 375, the actual land area is 375 square meters. Okay, so this will be our answer. Next. Ito naman, Annie went to the grocery and bought items which cost. Polynomial function din yung costing ng items na nabili niya or yung amount ng nabili niya. And if if x is 4 pesos, how much did Annie pay? So all we have to do is substitute C of 4 is equal to 5 times 4 raised to 4 plus 2 times 4 cube plus 4 times 4 plus 18. So let us have 4 raised to 4. That is 256 plus 2 raised to 3. That's 64. 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64 plus 16 plus 8. So 256 times 5, 1,280 plus 64 times 2, is 128 plus 16 plus 18. So add lang natin plus 16 plus 18 plus 128 plus 1280. So that is equal to 1442. So the amount paid by Annie, the amount paid by Annie is 1,442 peso. Okay? So, yun yung cash na binayad niya. And last example, ito madali lang din to. Substitute lang din natin. So, a car manufacturer determines that the company's profit P can be modeled by the function P of x equals x raised to 4 plus 2x minus 3, where x represents the number of cars sold. What is the profit when x is equal to 200? So you have here P of x, naka-black ako, dapat violet, plus 2x minus 3. Substitute lang natin si 200. So that's P of 200 equals 200 raised to 4 plus 2 raised to 200 minus 3. So this is 1,600,000. Tama ba? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yan. Plus 400 minus 3. So that is 397. So 1,600,000,397. Okay, so that is the amount or the profit of the company. Okay, so this will be our answer. Hindi ko nasusulat. So the profit of the company's profit modeled by the function is 1,600,000,397. So I think that's uh this is million, this is billion, and I think that's trillion. Okay. So tingnan ko lang kung meron pang ibang example. So wala, yan na yung huling example natin. So natapos tayo dun sa billion amount of money. So hanggang dun lang tayo sa billion amount of money. And yung susunod ay pareho lang din. And okay, so if there's no question, so I'll be giving the link for your, ipopost ko siya after nito. So yung iba dyan, yung mga questions, pwede nyo siyang gawing example. No, para mas maintindihan nyo yung given natin. Okay? Yung module natin. So may mga naiwan dyan na questions na hindi ko sinagutan. So you can answer that on your own para maging practice, and ganun din po sa ating assessment. So don't forget to answer your assessment. If there are no questions, let me remind everyone that you have to join our class sa Google Classroom. So this is the code for the Jesus. This is Ricarte. This is Aquino. This is Palma. And yun lang. Okay, so I'll be uploading this now. So I am going to stop presenting and stop this video. Thank you for listening.